I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Okay, there's a few articles that have been popping up ever since I did the last one about the chief executive of Morgan Stanley, and here's another one. Home Depot's co-founder, who they want to make sure you know, retired in 2002. He says he doesn't want the woke generation leading business because of their laziness. What I get from that, someone who says they're woke is just automatically lazy and don't want to work. See, this trope is coming back. It's bubbling forward because of what they are doing currently right now. They are trying to make it seem like people are not working hard enough. And that's why you see the middle class is shrinking and the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. You see food cost rising. This is why they wanted a monopoly on that. You see housing rising. This is why big corporations and companies, hedge fund owners are buying up all of the homes and trying to rent them out instead of the people owning home and land. You see all of this going on because they are doubling down on making themselves richer. They are greedy. There is no end to their greed. It is a bottomless pit until it swallows them whole or they get crushed by it. And one thing that is in the back of my mind is you see how they don't care how much people are being hurt right now with this so-called inflation, supply chain issues and everything, saying they have a bright outlook for the future because I think they may know that the bottom is about to fall out and they can't kick this can any further because there's no more road. So it seems like they are just going to snatch whatever they can, no matter who is harmed in the process. Now, the article reads, Home Depot co-founder Bernie Marcus is adamant he doesn't want the woke generation leading business. He told Fox News, and when you hear that, you know where this is going, that nobody wants to work anymore. See, the same thing as, you know what, just cue the clip.
I have the best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Because of laziness and government benefits. Oh my God. That is another topic. I'm going to talk about that later. I've talked about it in several videos, but they are bringing that back too. Home Depot has distanced itself from Marcus, noting he hasn't worked for the company in 20 years. He's still the founder. Now, the whole nobody wants to work anymore, everybody is lazy and getting government benefits. This is something people who have privilege and grew up with a silver, gold, and platinum spoon in their mouth, they say. Because if they really had to be honest with themselves, they would say they were born into it. The nepotism babies, the trust fund babies, they have been born into a circle of vultures that will do anything to keep this circle as small as possible because they are so greedy. You cannot continue to step on people, the very people that make your little shit ass system work. You cannot continue to take away their quality of life, treat them like they're not human. They are very mistaken thinking they make the world go round. They really do. They think they're gods. But without the little system they have to keep people in line, it melts down. Their little shit system is going to go down. Home Depot, 93 years old and have no damn sense. But 93-year-old co-founder Bernie Marcus, who retired in 2002, he says he doesn't want the woke generation leading business, arguing that they would spend money we don't have on climate mitigation and wouldn't focus on the bottom line. You cannot focus on the health of the world, things that will affect you in your life or affect your children or grandchildren. No, you have to focus on the bottom line. They have tunnel focus on greed. On Thursday, Marcus said, who no longer has a day-to-day involvement in the company, making that clear, said, I certainly don't want to see the woke generation come up, especially the leaders. You can be a worker, you can make me money, but you cannot lead. He said that he had been following the World Economics Forum annual meeting, and they were recommending spending more money on climate control when we don't have it. We've already overspent. And if anything, climate control has caused most of the problems we have today. Wow. Yeah. I can't even say it's because he's 93. Marcus didn't elaborate on what he meant. Europe's energy crisis stems largely from its reliance on Russian fossil fuel. We need leaders who are basically thinking about the shareholders and their employees. He threw in their employees because this is something that companies do. They say we're a family and we care about our shareholders and employees. They don't give a damn about an employee. They care about their pockets and their shareholders' pocket, period. Marcus added, and I think today it's all about the woke diversity thing that don't hit the bottom line. Woke diversity. I've never heard anything. I don't even know what woke diversity is. I can split them up, and they use the word woke to reference black, and diversity, what they mean by diversity can be people of color, but mostly black. He doesn't want to see black people in leadership in companies, and he doesn't want black people in CEO, VP positions. He would rather them be a supervisor, maybe not even a manager, and an employee, maybe, if can be controlled, is basically what he's saying. What's new? He's 93 years old. What else would be his outlook on life during the time he grew up? Shocked. Now, in a 2020 report by consultancy giant McKinsey & Company, actually found that companies who have more diverse leadership are more likely to report higher profitability, which is true because their flat ass ain't finna do shit. They don't do anything. Usually it's dumped off on the person of color. I'll be politically correct. Marcus, who was a major donor to Donald Trump, surprise, surprise, 2016 and 2020 presidential campaign, spoke about labor markets, saying that people don't want to work. No, it's not that. It's just people do not want to be overworked and underpaid. Everybody sees the wealth gap. Everybody sees that their wages are not keeping up with inflation or the cost before inflation. People were being nickeled and dimed, being paid pennies. Didn't do as much work as I was supposed to, because if this is how you feel about me, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and do damn near nothing, get what I want, and I move on. I have absolutely no freaking loyalty to any company that I work for. I don't give a damn if that company does well or crashes and burn. I don't care. Now, Marcus said that the reason that people don't want to work is they are entitled. The nerve of this, the nerve of this privileged prick talking about entitlement. This a-hole was born entitled. Anyway, they're given everything. Really everything, adding that government unemployment benefits were pushing people because you were supposed to work through the pandemic, and if you die, you die. It's all about the bottom line and the shareholder. So you get this laziness, he said, and basically it's a socialist society. Marcus also said that people want to work 3 days a week, possibly referring to the growth in demand for flexible work during the pandemic, because there's been a recent push for 4-day work week. I would love that. I would love the 3-day. Because I'm going to sit up here and say there is no reason for people to be working 5 days a week, 40 hours to survive. That there's no reason why this should be going on. And not only that, you need more than one person working to be able to survive. Two people who are college educated and both bringing in check are struggling. They're not making bad choices. They're not living beyond their means. Never before have companies and shareholders and CEOs and VPs made as much money as they are today. The way this machine is running, it is to run you into the ground. It is to suck every amount of energy you have. Basically, they try and design their offices because you're trapped there like a slave for them the majority of the day of your effing life, working for them to make them rich. That's it. But you're lazy. You should have been working through the pandemic. You should be happy that you work for this company. You should be happy that you are getting paid what you're getting paid, because you're not me. You're not special. You're not smart. You're not a go-getter. You just don't have it. Oh my God, the nerve. The mantra, nobody wants to work anymore, has gathered steam during the pandemic, with some bosses using the phrase as a scapegoat to why they're struggling to recruit staff. Workers in turn say that low pay, bad benefits, and poor working conditions are the reason why they've switched jobs and holding out for better offers. Exactly. And I hope it gets worse. I hope people continue to push for this, because it is. You're not paying a livable wage. The benefits, you can't even afford to go to the hospital with the benefits, and the conditions, and it's the environment and the attitude of the people that you work with. They allow certifiable a-holes, Karens and Kens all up through there, and then think you're supposed to be happy about it. The pandemic caused a huge change in how people think about work. Office workers realize the benefits of working remotely, flexible hours, especially those with caring responsibilities, staff in low pay, customers facing roles like fast food and cleaning. People rethought what they wanted from their careers, and some used the pandemic as an opportunity to retrain for new roles. This all caused quit rates in the US to reach record highs in 2021, though levels are slowly falling. The civilian workforce participant rate, the proportion of the working age population that is employed or seeking employment, plummeted at the start of the pandemic. Data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics show, though it still remains below pre-pandemic levels, the participation rate has increased from a low of 60.1% in April 2001 to 62.3 in December of 2022. They end with saying Bernie is retired from Home Depot 20 years later, just to let you know, again, for the final time. But yeah, it would be somebody who looked like this, who is always talking about privilege and people not wanting to work hard, doesn't know a effing day of hard work in his entire life. He couldn't reference it. He couldn't remember it. He couldn't even consult a crystal ball to show him where he ever worked hard a day in his life. But this is so offensive to everyone who works so hard, but yet they qualify for benefits because of low pay, because they're literally stealing your life. They're stealing your work. They're stealing your essence at these jobs. I understand why there was a great resignation. I hope it's another one. I hope it continues. I hope and this is one reason why I feel like they want to start letting immigrants in, because they want to force people to work for the pay. You heard what the Morgan Stanley guy said, they don't get to decide if they get to work remotely or not. They don't get to decide their compensation. This is the attitude that they have. So you should have the attitude to bend them over and get what you need out of them, no Vaseline. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think about this story, and I will see you in the next one.